What's up, guys? This is WoT the Fell-Handed. Today we are going to do some basic tanking, and I am including a super Pershing Weakspot guide. I've had a lot of requests for this. Okay guys, so this is your typical Pershing. Very thin skin, not scary at all, very squishy. This is your super Pershing. They have added spaced armor all along the front, and they kept the same engine, so essentially you have a very slow medium tank. Now I am in the Type 59, which has a standard AP penetration of 181 millimeters approximately. That is what I will be firing for the majority of this. Now as you look directly at this tank, the cheeks on both sides of the tank here are weak spots, the inner and the outer, as well as both hatches. Pretty much anywhere the spaced armor is not your machine gun port, and thanks to a subscriber, the very bottom of the lower plate, although I would recommend APCR if you are going to go that route. Now as you can see, the penetration of the Type 59 standard AP round is more than enough to go through the cheek of the Super P here, no problem. Also, there's another good spot, which is directly where the turret ring is. Now, of course, we are going through the commander hatches there. And if you'll notice, it goes from red to orange. If I go on the outside, you can still penetrate with the orange showing. Now, granted, of course, when this tank is moving, things are going to become infinitely harder, as your chances of success will diminish. Now if this tank is angled at all, it's not going to be good for the driver, as you normally don't want to handle these tanks. I am going to show you the turret ring weak spot. This is a very easy weak spot to hit, although you do have to be fairly close to make effective use of this. You can hit them right below the front of the spaced armor there, and it's a fairly easy shot, although the downside of this is you do have to be kind of close. Now this is one of those weak spots. It's not going to change if they move their turret. As long as you follow the hull of the tank, you will be successful in connecting with this. The machine gun port is a tricky one to nail. It's hard to do reliably. I wouldn't necessarily go for that when you can always go for the squishy turret. Now I think right there I just hit a no hit box. You need to be very careful. Some tanks have no hit boxes and it looks like you should be damaging things, but you are in fact not. We're going to go ahead and put a round in the machine gun port, and guys, it's a dicey proposition either way. Now I am 50 meters here. I'm not moving and he's not moving. Now I am kind of experimenting here just to see if I can kind of sneak around in, maybe underneath the tracks, and hit something. It doesn't really have much effect, of course, aside from tracking them. Now here's where I try the subscriber's idea of firing at the very lower bottom plate, and it manages to go through. So thank you, my friend, for that. Now it does not go through regularly. Now keep in mind, I did go through that with standard AP, although the percentage of which it goes through is extremely low. So you just have to be aware of that. Now here I am trying to go through and hit the gun sights. If I couldn't get through the gun sights, I was going to try the machine gun port, but at the same time I thought, well, if I can't go through one, I probably can't go through the other. Just wanted to give you guys all the information that I could in defeating this tank. Now we're going to move on to how to go hull down and the different types of hull down. This is linear hull down. Okay, this is pulling up to take a shot and then backing back down. This is very simple hull down. As you can see, this is what I'm looking like. Now the downside of this is, if any enemy is trying to fire on you, it's going to be extremely easy for him to do so, because you're not having a lot of movement in your tank. He essentially has to keep the same X and Y axis and he just waits for you to pull back up and take a shot, and then he can, assuming of course he can get through your turret. I don't recommend this type of hull down. It's extremely easy for the Reds to put rounds on your turret. Of course, if you have an extremely strong turret such as the IS-7, I'm not sure it would really matter, but at the same time, you don't want to be hit. The option in a good hull down tank is not to be hit. Now, these are going to get progressively more complex, but at the same time you are going to have less and less of a chance of actually getting shot, which in my opinion is more valuable than armor. So I'm going to help you get your hull down game down tight and show you how not to get shot at the same time. Now right here we are doing angled hull down. You angle your hull at 45 degrees, and as you can see, we have a whole different ballgame. Not only does he have to account for height, he has to account for the left and right. So you can put a variety of movement here. As you can see, he's not having too good a time connecting with us anymore. You need to stay moving. You never want to remain stationary. You never want to be the guy who pulls up, shoots at someone, and it just remains there to get beat up until the gun loads. Never be that guy. Always move. Always make micro movements. Never make anything easy, even if you have the armor to take it, because in this game we cannot count on armor. I've showed you how to defeat one of the most heavily armored tier 8s in the game, and you can take it apart now once you get within once you close within range to where you can effectively hit these weak spots, and some of the weak spots are very large. So guys, always err on the side of not getting hit. That's why we need to stay mobile. We need to keep moving. I am, however, going to show you a move later on in this video that focuses on you not moving. If you're getting tracked in this next segment here, then you're doing it right. Some of you veterans may know what I'm talking about, others not so much. Either way, we'll find out very soon. Now, this is what the tank looks like from your view. This is the straight angled hull down. All you're doing is just going back and forth, and you can take this as far or as short as you like, and that way you can make sure you're doing it right, just if you need to get your bearings, so to speak. Okay guys, next up is lateral hull down. This is probably the best hull down in my opinion. You have the tank turned completely sideways to your enemy, and you are solely depending on your turret to protect you. Now guys, when you are taking shots from this location, all you need to do is keep your turret locked, don't even touch the turret, and when you drag the reticle across the enemy, pull the trigger. Easy as pie. Because if you see here, as I try to move the reticle, it gets extremely confusing, so you want to leave it here. Now there's a few inherent weaknesses of this. If you are on a particular slope and you have to pull up a little bit more in order to get the shot, there's a chance that your enemy can put rounds into the side of your tank. Or, as you will see here shortly, he can always pull forward. If he pulls forward, then he can really put shots into the side of your tank. As you can see here, I'm doing damage to him, and he is not even hitting the turret anymore. He is completely missing me. And that's what we want, guys. We don't even want him to connect. And I'm not even doing that much of a variety of movements. I'm just kind of rocking back and forth. I highly recommend, guys, you put as many micro movements in this as you possibly can. And this is what it looks like from your side. You're just rocking back and forth. And of course, those of you that know the Type 59 know that you do not want to show your right hand side, because your ammo rack, your gas tank, your engine, everything vital in the tank is on the right hand side of the tank there. Just a little tidbit, little FYI. Now, this particular mode is extremely useful for tanks with little to no turret armor, because this relies more on the enemy not even connecting with you. The other ones, the angled hold down, yes, you're probably most likely going to get hit in that unless your enemy is an extremely bad shot. The linear hold down, you are going to get pelted with rounds. Now, as you can see, as the enemy pulls up, I have more and more of a shot at him at his lower plate, but at the same time, he's getting more and more of a shot near the side of my tank. Now, he's still missing because he doesn't have totally clear shots, but as he moves up, it is more and more evident that I'm in trouble. And see, I'm still just dragging the reticle across him, and pulling the trigger, and that's it. Now, you know, the downside to this, of course, is the fact that it's extremely situational. The most powerful moves you can do in this game are unfortunately extremely situational. Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like from your point of view to see what it looks like if you are aiming at someone who happens to be doing this. And this is going to be essentially what your enemy's going to see. Now, this is linear hold down, and as you can see, he's just setting hold down. He can still pin me, but he's moving just a little bit, not very much, and you can easily hit him because there's not a lot of movement going on. He's just got the back and forward, and you can reliably hit him. You may not pin him depending on your gun, your armor, your accuracy, what have you, but you can at least connect, and that is where everything starts at, obviously. So linear hold down is the first on our list here. Now, this is angled hold down, what it looks like. Now we have a whole different ball game. And he is not, of course, doing very evasive maneuvers. He's just going very gently. So this adds a whole different ball game. You could just wait in one location, yes, but if I saw your gun looking in one location, I probably wouldn't pull up all the way. So it's extremely tricky, I guess is what I'm saying, to pin and connect with somebody using angled hold down. And of course, your hold doesn't necessarily have to be at 45 degrees. It can be at whatever degree you want. You can change it. Just there's a variety of things you can do with angled hold down. Now, next up is what lateral hold down looks like. This is my favorite. It is so difficult to connect with somebody doing lateral hold down, but as you can see, his hull is completely level with the ground, so it wouldn't take very much for me to pull up and get shots at him. You do this when the enemies are in a static position where they can't push up, they can't fire rounds into your side armor. If you're like this, it's very hard for people just to even get rounds in on you. Now, if you had a tank, a light tank or a very fast medium with horsepower, a good power to weight ratio, then you would really have something. The Type 59 is a little sluggish, unfortunately, but if you had something like a Batchat or a Leo or a 140, you would really be a hard target. Let's not even talk about those light tanks. So lateral hold down is going to look like this. And as you can see, when I pull up, there's the side right there. That is the inherent weakness of this maneuver. This is an extremely strong position here, but it does have its weaknesses. So you just need to be aware. You need to know that it is possible somebody can push up on your location and put rounds into your soft side armor. So just be on the lookout for that. It's a possibility. Now, this is sidescraping. Sidescraping is angling up to a rock or a dead tank or what have you and pushing the side of your tank out you want to typically hit 75 degrees of angle, and the reason is that is the angle where most rounds will auto bounce. And what you're doing is you're waiting till your enemy fires, bounces, what have you, and then you pull out and you put a round in it. Now, if you are getting tracked in this particular maneuver, you are doing it right. So your tracks should eat most of your rounds. If you have the tank angled properly, you're going to be fine. More than likely, unless you have some glaring weak spots, such as the flat turret armor, the E100, or you know, what have you. Now, you know, this is what it looks like from the front. In a moment, I'm going to show you what happens if I over angle. Obviously, you'll get penetrated, but I'm going to over angle and continuously ramp it up just to give you guys an idea of what is considered a good angle and what is not. As you can see from here, I'm almost completely, it's almost like a straight line he's firing at me. Now I angled a little bit more here, but as you can see, he's still tracking me, and they're more likely going to bounce. Now guys, if you do have soft turret armor, it is a possibility you will get your turret pinned, so just be aware of that. Now, this is an angle you're going to see a lot of guys use. It's not ideal, yet it's something that is normally used quite a bit. The tanks that normally angle this way have your thicker side armor, and what this does is it's like everything else in the game. If you take a piece of armor and you angle it, the effective armor goes up exponentially. Just like the front of your armor on a given tank is 100 millimeters thick, if you angle it at 60 degrees, that effectively doubles the effective armor, so it goes from 100 millimeters effective thickness to 200 millimeters effective thickness. You're doing the exact same thing with your side. Just an FYI, guys. Now, I am purposely over angling just to give you an idea what is acceptable, what's not. If you don't have loads of side armor, or you know, no side spaced armor, then you want to do like I was originally and keep your side of your tank slightly canted. You want just enough angle for the round to hit the side of the tank and skip right off. You want it essentially to auto bounce. Of course, you always have to worry about if the round will overmatch. Normally that's only found in your tier 9, tier 10, where you have massive guns, 183 millimeters, 150 millimeters, what have you. Now, this is side scraping. This is what you are going to see. This is, if someone is side scraping, what it's going to look like to you. And the reason I'm doing this will give you a good idea to kind of see how the mechanics work here. Now, the only danger this gentleman has right here, Zodiac, is when he pulls out to take a shot, that I could put one in his lower plate. So you want to pull out not very far, just enough to get a round off. So you want to essentially have the edge of your reticle touching the building where you're at. Because if he pulls out too far, I'm going to put one in his lower plate. Now, ideally, you want to pull out, you want to fire after they've fired you, after they've tracked you, what have you, so you can essentially do this with no risk to yourself. Now, the downside to this, there's two different downsides. The first downside is it takes a lot of space to do this. You really have to, you know, you're going down an alley, you just essentially have to turn sideways and say, okay, I'm going to scrape this alley. So, you know, other tanks are going to have problems getting by you. You know, they may try to push you out the way, what have you. The other downside is that if the shooter in this case started angling to the left, he would be putting shots in almost directly into your side. So this works if the enemy is in a static position. just be aware of that. Now, as you can see, Zodiac is angling more and more to kind of show you the limit of when you will be penetrated. So you just need to be aware. You don't want to angle too steep. You just want just the ever slightest angle, and then the rounds are just going to just zoom off the side of this thing. So that's what you're looking for. And you know, training room, get in here with your friends. Training room would be the perfect time to get this practice. A lot of players don't know how to properly side scrape. You wouldn't believe how many people I've seen pull out the side scrape and they just get the side of their tank just tore it because they think they're at the right angle, and they say, oh, how's everybody pinning me? So I just want you guys to be aware. You know, this is for your own edification, so you just need to take this and, you know, kind of see the right way and the wrong way to do things. Like now he's angled the wrong way. I'm pinning him, so he is in the wrong position to properly side scrape. And you know, guys, if you're side scraping and you're getting pinned over and over again, you're doing it wrong. Guys, big ups goes out to Zodiac 58 for helping me make this video and bring it to you guys. Please subscribe to his channel of the same name. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys next time. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.